Hi, my name is Lee Herrick. I am a professor at Fresno City College, and I teach in the low residency MFA program at Sierra Nevada College also. And I am very proud and honored to be involved with this project. I've got a lot of respect for the San Joaquin Valley Writing Project, so thank you. I was asked to talk about understanding family histories. Mine is an interesting one. I was born in Daejeon, South Korea, and I was adopted when I was 10 months old. So later in this short talk, I'll talk about my Korean adoption experience. But I wanted to say a little bit about how so many of our family histories weave in and out. Occasionally they're completely truncated. Some things are known, some things are unknown. Some things we knew, but we rediscover in a new way. And my experience as a Korean adoptee has been one of that. It's been a journey of discovering, of emotional difficulty, but ultimately forming a sense of self that has made me feel a sense of peace that I'm incredibly grateful for. But before I talk about that, I wanted to mention that my adoptive family and I are very close. I was adopted when I was 10 months old to an American family in the San Francisco Bay Area. They're Caucasian, and we're still very close to this day. My mom is a painter, my father was in finance, and there were a lot of educators in my family. My sister teaches 6th grade in Modesto. My great-grandfather went to Yale and then founded a boarding school in Ojai near Santa Barbara. And I am a proud graduate of California State University Stanislaus. And so, on the one hand, my family's history was about that. It was about education. It was about doing your best and things like that. When I was about 25 or 26 is the first time I remember really thinking about my Korean culture. Like I said, I was born in South Korea in late 1970. And so I don't know a lot of the facts of my family's history that so many people know and really just use as part of their life story. Where they were born, not only the town and the history of the town, but even the hospital. They might know the hospital room or the living room with a nurse. There's also facts such as time. You know, most or many people, I think, associate their family history with dates and times, when they were born, you know, when their parents met, things like that. And also the who involved with the family history. Many Korean adoptees or many transnational adoptees, such as myself, I don't know any of that. And so I grew up feeling, on the one hand, sort of American, but also knowing clearly I was Asian American. And the questions that I had about culture and family sort of galvanized and moved me to a point in my life in my late 20s where I felt compelled to go to Korea. And this is something that I think is important for anybody looking into family history, is the importance of place. So I went to South Korea and I did a birth family search. This involved going on national TV in Seoul, the capital city. There's a very popular TV show called I Miss You, and it's really dramatic, even melodramatic. It's a program about family separation and reunions and so on. It was extremely difficult, extremely emotional, but by going to the place, I was able to understand my birthplace and thus my family history, and then understanding myself a lot more than I ever had before. Just by knowing what the city smelled like, just by knowing what the food was like, the sounds of the city and things like that. One speaks metaphorically or figuratively of the heart swelling. I really do think, if not my heart, my life was expanded by looking into my family history in that way. So I was asked to share a poem that might speak to family history, and I thought I would read a poem from my first book called This Many Miles from Desire. Oh, sorry. I want to add one more thing about my birth family search that I should say. So I'm married. I have a daughter who's adopted from China. But my birth family search that I mentioned was in 2008. Nothing came of that. I wasn't able to find birth family, and I was at peace with that. One has to make his or her own peace. I will tell you that. So I made my peace with that, and just this year, 2013, I got word of this very popular DNA test service that's getting more popular. It was featured on a PBS story with Henry Louis Gates Jr., and it's called 23andMe, and it's become quite popular in the Korean adoption community around the world. So I did it. I paid the $99. They sent me a tube. I spit into it, giving them my DNA, and 6 weeks later, I received an email that was probably the most difficult email to open, because I knew it would reveal my health history, if I was in fact Korean, and also if there were any blood relatives known. And this was about a month ago. It took me about a minute of deep breathing to open the email, and I opened the email, and my results came up that I am in fact Korean, that my health is sound, but amazingly, and I hope this will come through, but for someone who has never known a blood relative, it was a tremendous moment to find that I had 70 blood relatives, and so far I've been in contact with 6 of them. One of them I actually knew. She came to a book signing of mine in New York City about 5 years ago. Her name is Jen, and we're third cousins. So it's been a very exciting, rewarding journey, and for that I'm grateful. I wish all of you the very best with your writing, with your teaching, with your own histories and your own futures. The poem I'll read is called Salvation, and it's basically about my birth mother. Salvation. The blues is what mothers do not tell their sons, in church or otherwise. How their bodies forgave them when their spirits gave in. How you salvage love by praying for something acoustic, something clean and simple like the ideal room. One with a shelf with your 3 favorite books and a photo from your childhood. The one of you with the big grin before you knew about the blues. I wonder what songs my birth mother sang in the 5 months she fed me before she left me on the steps of a church in South Korea. I wonder if they sounded like Sarah Chang's quivering bow, that deep chant of a mother saying goodbye to her son. Who can really say? Sometimes all we have is the blues. The blues means finding a song in the abandonment, one you can sing in the middle of the night when you remember that your Korean name, Lee Kwang-soo, means bright light, something that can illuminate or shine like tears, little drops of liquefied God glistening down your brown face. I wonder what songs my birth mother sings, and if she sings them for me, what stories her body might tell. I have come to believe that the blues is the body's salvation, a chorus of scars to remind you that you are here, not where you feared you would be, but here, flawed, angelic, and full of light. I believe the blues is the spirit's wreckage, examined and damaged, but whole again, more full and prepared than it's ever been, quiet and still, just as it was always meant to be. Thank you.